Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is the M12. It's the Tier 7 American SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Serene Coast and it's under the command of TanqAndTonic. And we've got 3 replays featuring his Artys, different Artys on different maps. This one's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. Okay. I must admit, actually, I do have 3 marks on my own M12, so I know. In fact, actually, one of the reasons why a lot of people do have 3 marks on M12s is it's slightly more difficult to play than the M44, and consequently, it's much harder because lots fewer people actually play it, or at least play it well. Okay, TanqAndTonic has moved himself into a firing position. And he's now taking aim at a Chrysler GF who's making his way down the peninsula. Lining up a shot, he's trying to aim ahead of his path. Looks perfect! Perfect! Yes, got a direct hit for 245. In fact, I say direct hit, it was landed right next door to his track, so it was near as close as you could possibly get. Okay, reload is complete. He's got 22 seconds on the reload, or 22.9 I think that is. Super Hellcat. Nice target, very light armour. Direct hit, 296. Now that one definitely hit home. I think he's going to go for the Comet next. Lines it up, tries to go ahead of its path, but he loses sight of the target, and that's so difficult when you're an Arty. You need to have sight of the target in order to anticipate exactly where they're going to go next. He splashes that one for 88. Okay, we've got a Tiger 2 now. This should be a little more fun. Runs out straight away. Oh, no, that one didn't land anywhere near the target. I think that was RNG that sent that one astray. Now you notice that there's a firing arc which is actually 14 degrees each side of the centre line of the vehicle. It's not a very wide traverse, but that's about all you can get, I'm afraid. It is the M3 hull that it was actually built on. It's the gun is a 155mm gun from a French design, and the Comet gets killed immediately afterwards. He picked up the stun assist, so he got 259 from the shot, 26 from the stun assist afterwards. Now, the M12s were already on the design board, but they built them during 1942 and 1943, and they only built 100 of them in total. So it was quite a quick design, but they used the M3 hull because it was the most readily available at the time. And it's actually quite a decent SPG. They were known as the door knocker because they were most often used to knock down bunkers that the Germans had actually made. That one hit the ridgeline. But there's only one still in existence, and it's at the Artillery Museum at Fort Sill, and it's known as Adolf's assassin. Trying to line up a shot, fires it at Lancer C. He did get a hit on that one, 273. Now the Alpha is 600, and as you can see here with the new shell setup, it will go through 39mm of armour. That's not a lot, but it does have a burst radius of 72.2 meters. With the premium rounds, it will go 750 Alpha and penetrates 49 with a burst radius of 4 meters, so slightly less but more damage. Nope, that one didn't hit. He's also taken 2 armor-piercing rounds on board as well. They're capable of doing 420 Alpha, but they will penetrate through 219mm or 218mm. But the problem is you have to get a direct hit in order for that one to work. So a near miss is just not gonna work to your advantage. You have to hit the target in order to make it happen. Now, you don't get a whole lot of ammunition in the M12. You only get 20 rounds, so you have to make the best use of them. It's always been the case that this particular Arty has very few shells compared to its Soviet counterpart, which tends to get a lot more. The S51, the Tier 7 Soviet SPG, actually has 30 rounds to play with. Mind you, those are 152mm, not 155 like on this gun. But it still means that you get more shots with an S51 than you do with an M12. He stunned the Scorpion G, and that guy's now in a bit of trouble because there's Super Hellcat nearby and the Scorpion goes down. But the enemy does have an SU-130PM in the vicinity. And I think the Super Hellcat's in a lot of trouble now. He just took a big hit from the Caro. And that SU-130PM is looking to try and finish him off. But instead, TanqAndTonic hits the SU-130PM, but the Super Hellcat goes down to the Caro after all. Now, our Scorpion G's got to a position. He just took out their SU-130PM. He'll be reloading now. We've got an AMX 1357 just assassinated our Super Hellcat in their cap area. And TanqAndTonic fires around in to try and get the 1357. All he does was stun him, but we do pick up some stun assist off that. And the T-29 just clobbers him, and there he goes. Okay, the Caro's still there, sitting on the corner. And if he can get this shot in position, he might be able to stun him long enough for the Scorpion to kill him. Nice hit, 228. Our T-34-3 is coming around the other side. The Caro is going to get one hell of a shock any second now. He's going to see the T-34-3. And he just took a round up the rear from the T-29. And the Scorpion finishes the job. So we've got a kill. And that was the last kill of the game. So this one ends in a victory. End of battle results for this one was an ace tanker for TanqAndTonic in the M12. He got a bruised medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10 in this one. And he got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And the fact is he didn't get a single kill in the game. But of course, that actually contributed towards him getting a Confederate, because every tank that he hit was killed by another member of his team. Let's have a look at team score and see where he stood. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. He was actually 4th in his own team, and he was also 6th overall, because the highest score was the Scorpion with 4,475. The second highest was the SU-130PM on the enemy team, 2,362, and the third highest damage was the T-34-3 with 1,950. We can see TanqAndTonic got 1,618 off that one. When it came to kills, it was shared between the Scorpion and the M4 Mini 45, and also the AMX 5100. They all got 3 kills each. And when it came to base XP, it was the Scorpion who did the best with 1,377, but TanqAndTonic came second on XP with 1,084. That was an ace, and the main reason for that was the stun assist he managed to get. 14 shots fired, so he still had 6 spare at the end of the game. 5 direct hits, no penetrations, but 10 splash. Damage of 1,618 hit points, all of it done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 7 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he got 2,826 hit points of stun assist of 10 stuns, and that's where he actually managed to get the ace, because that combined with the actual damage he did was more than enough to get that much XP. 34,318 credits from the game. After ammunition resupply, it was standard ammo. He ended up with 35,797 credits. 1,084 XP times 2 for the first victory. 3,252 for personal missions payout. Took away 6,504 altogether. So that was the end of the first game. Let's have a look at the second one. The second battle is in the FV207. The Tier 8 British SPG, and he's located on the north spawn of Redshire, and he's trying to interrupt me because he platooned with somebody else at the start of a battle. Normally, yeah, that's not normally a good idea, because although some people have got missions to complete and they would like the extra damage that other teammates might be able to do to help them reach that mission, the fact of the matter is you're less likely to get a brothers in arms if you platoon with somebody at the start of a game, simply because you don't know if they're good enough to actually get that number of kills. And although he has platooned with a Bobject and the Scorpion G, chances are they're not going to be able to do that sort of damage. First hit goes on an FV207 and it's 199 hit points from the 6-inch gun, 376 of stun assist afterwards. Now the FV207 again is a design that never actually put into production. It's got a 6-inch gun. You've got a choice of two guns actually, the 5.5-inch standard stock gun and the top gun, which is the 6-inch, which is basically the same as 152mm. And we can see a Death Star. Is that Death Star? No, it's not the Death Star, it's the FV215B heavy tank. He's made a almost suicide run into our territory, and he's taking punishment now from, well, everybody who's up on that hill, because, yeah, despite the fact that he just managed to help his team got a kill on our T-54 lightweight, the fact of the matter is that he's way out of position, and our guys should be able to punish him quite heavily for having the impertinence to drive into our territory the way he did. TanqAndTonic, though, has decided he needs to get into cover, otherwise if he's spotted he might be taken out of the game. So he's actually driving to the east to join his Scorpion teammate, platoon mate, and he's now in the copse. Now this particular gun, the 6-inch gun, will do 650 alpha, and it will penetrate 336, so that's 38mm of armour. I think it's 38 actually, and it's also got a standard burst radius as well of 7.6 meters. With the premium rounds, which he's got 8 of, he can do 800 alpha, penetrating 48mm with a burst radius of only 4, and he has got 1 AP round, just in case it ever happens. You can do 480 with that and he'll penetrate 254. Now, armor piercing rounds can actually be quite useful if you're going to be attacking an enemy who's coming face to face with you. Say you're having a really bad day and the enemy's basically just run over the top of all of your teammates. Yeah, an armor piercing round can really put a crimp in their day, because it could actually penetrate an attacking tank and take him out if you're going to meet him, you know, mano a mano, or, well, yes, in the flesh, so to speak. Well, he's aiming towards the heights there, because there was an enemy tank destroyer up there, but now he fires around into the T-110E4, who just took a big hit from our Bobject, and there was a T-30 up on that hill. Now the Bobject just took a big hit as well, but the E4 goes down. He took a shot from the Rhinoceronte. Okay, that FV215B wasn't taken out, he's still alive on the reverse slope of the hill now, and he just took another hit from somebody else. Now he's decided not to fire, but I think the fact of the matter is he just wanted to confirm where he was. Gets a hit for 144, stunned him, and the TVP is lining up to fill him full of lead. Yeah, look at this, it's an execution now. TVP's got that fantastic gun. Just pump those shells in. He's not dead though, he's still in the game. But for how much longer, I don't know. Rounds out. Another hit, 232, and this time round he does go down to the Skoda T56, who instantly gets hit by the enemy Arty. Okay, up on top of the hill we've got Noobs 03 managed to sneak up there. And there's a Striv S1 in there as well. We can't see him at the moment. Over on the castle we can see an AMX-50B pushing, as well as a TVP T5051. He's a little closer to our K91. There he is. He's just gone down. In fact, he was taken out by our TVP from a distance. This is not so good, because obviously this team is following standard practice or standard meta, pushing on the castle, which is the easiest way to move forward. The games have become so predictable now that you don't want to push on the Zeppelin area simply because it's so difficult. Well, I think he got some stun there, even though he didn't get any damage. It's much easier to push on the castle area, and if you can, make it all the way to the back row and then take out the Arty. It doesn't look like this enemy team has actually managed to do that. In fact, now it's looking like their thrust up the east side or the west side of the map is looking a bit precarious, because we've still got a Skoda T56, a T95 and a TVP to repel the enemies when they're spotted. Arty is all moving down to this area of the map, and the enemy just lost their E75TS. We're one up on the enemy at the moment, but that could change very soon, because we found their Striv and their FV207, and he's low on hit points, and now he's out of life. He's back in the garage. That was a nice shot, that was. He didn't have much in the way of hit points, so if you look for an opportunity like that, you see an enemy tank very low on hit points, just do put a round in there if you can, because you will be able to take a gun out of the game, and that makes it much easier for your teammates. Okay, Object 263 just got stunned, rounds out. I think that fell short. That Striv, oh, he's gone. The Chieftain got him, but unfortunately the Chieftain got clobbered as well. There's an AMX-50B in the village. I think that was the one who actually hit the Chieftain. Or is he unloading all of his mag now? Rounds out. Just a little late. Only 21 hit points from Splash. Here comes the TVP to take out the AMX-50. Yeah, he's got no defense now because he's in reload, and the TVP assassinates him very quickly. But we lose the Skoda to the Object 263, the one we found out a short while ago. Can he get a shot in there? Rounds out. Yes! It hit the hardest armor on the front of the 263, but the Chieftain has no problem finishing him off. So we picked up some stun assist. Unfortunately, the Chieftain gets hit by their Arty again. It looks like their Arty might be in the back row somewhere in K3. Got an Udes 03. He's very close to us actually, because he's got close to the cap area. But the good news is that we do have our own Udes nearby. Oh, well, we did. He's just got wiped out. And there goes the enemy Udes, just taken out by our TVP again. Enemy RT has been spotted actually on the one row or one column, and there's another one at the back, and it looks like he's right up against the edge. In fact, that's their last player. It's the Lorraine 15551, rounds out. Oh, and he gets killed by a platoon mate before we can get the shot in, and that's every member of the platoon managed to get a single kill, and it's a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and yet again it's another ace tanker for TanqAndTonic in the FV207 this time. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 6, but I'm afraid he didn't pick up any other medals from that game. Well, I'm afraid the thing was that he was being forced to move and move home, evacuate the area, because the enemy was getting too close, and consequently it actually kind of threw him off his rhythm. And he was getting some nice damage, but then it sort of stopped when he had to move, and then he recovered again and managed to get some more damage. Let's have a look at team scores, see where he was. Well, the highest score in this game was that TVP T5051. He was very, very useful. 4,688 hit points of damage to him. 3,057 went to the Rhinoceronte, and 2,564 went to the Object 263 on the enemy team. We can see TanqAndTonic only managed to get 902, and I think that was entirely down to him having to move so often. When it came to kills, it was 4 kills for the T95 FV4201 Chieftain, 4 kills for the Rhinoceronte as well, 3 kills for the TVP, and those were the high scorers. TanqAndTonic only got the 1 kill, but it was a good one nonetheless. the FV202. And when it came to base XP, it was TanqAndTonic. Yes, 1056. He got a lot of stun assist in this one. 926 went to the TVP, 866 went to the Rhinoceronte. He fired 11 rounds in this game, got 5 direct hits, no penetration but 9 splash. Damage of 902 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 5 of the enemy, killed 1, did 3,776 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns, and that's what contributed to the ace tanker. It was a big game in terms of stun assist. He stunned the enemy, his teammates then got the kills. 36,071 credits from the game. After a resupply of ammunition and consumables, took away a profit of 20,687. 1,056 for the game, and he took away 1,584. So his second victory with an ace tanker. Let's have a look at the third game and see how he gets on in that one. The third battle is in the Bat Châtillon 155-55, the tier 9 French SPG. We're located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka Encounter. Oh, and that sounds like Commander AF. It's on the side of the vehicle. That's the lady who says, "Boom, baby." Okay, well, this is another Arty that was never actually built. It was proposed, and they did build mock-ups, but they never actually put any into production at all. 155mm gun, based on a hull which was designed by Bat Châtillon. It's got an all-round turning turret, which means that it can fire in any direction, which is actually one of the attributes that the Germans sought during the Second World War, but only actually managed to get on one of their SPGs. And he did track the Carnarvon, but he didn't get a direct hit. I think it landed right next door to him. Now you get 36 rounds of ammunition with this particular Arty, so you've got plenty of ammo to fire at the enemy. The only problem is you can only do 680 alpha. Fires at 704. It is 680 alpha, penetrates 48mm and burst radius of 7.6 meters. Okay, looks like he's going to go for the 704 again, but he loses sight of that one, so he elects to go for the IS-3 instead. It's much easier to hit the target that you can see, but he loses both of them. And instead he decides not to shoot at those, and the turret now has to turn to the 7032 and the Type 4 Heavy over by the railway line. Almost dialed in. Okay, ready to go. Rounds out. Lands behind the Type 4. It went long. Okay, the turret's turning back to the IS-3. Yes, if you're wondering which German Arty actually had an all-round firing gun, that was the Heischreck, the little grasshopper, the Panzer Selbstfahrerfährte 4B. It only fires forward in the game, but the idea was the turret could be dismounted from the actual Arty and put into a gun emplacement where it could fire in all directions. That was one of the criteria that the Germans were selecting on all Arty that were new Arty that were going to be designed. Of course, they designed the Hummel and they built that, and then they suggested they needed to build another Arty based on the Panther. And of course that was the GW Panther, but that never got put into production because they needed the Panther hulls for Panther tanks instead. And they made do with the Hummels that they had, as well as the Vespers. Decides not to shoot. It's an Emil 2 up there. No, our guys are not going up to spot them at the moment, so he'd be better off going for that Type 4, and he is doing it. Okay, dialing in. Rounds out. This looks good. It is a direct hit for 25. And the Emil 2 has suddenly come back into sight, but he just killed our E75. Or was it the UDES 16? So there's a UDES 16 up there that we can't see at the moment. He's probably behind those bushes. A little further back. Okay, and object 705 is coming up this side. We're waiting for the turret to turn round. Okay, now it's ready. Looks like he's been tracked. Rounds out.
Critical hit must be our lucky day.
That was definitely a hit, no doubt about that one. 151 this time. And he's out the game, so we get the stun assist, or damage assist actually, for that one, because he was tracked by our shot. Go to the Type 4. Fires blind, gets a direct hit, and he was not the only one who got one either, because our fellow Arty in the M53, M55 fired at the same target at the same time. Standard reload is 28.76 seconds, and you can see TanqAndTonic's got 24.55, which is actually quite reasonable. It's a lot off than the standard. I'd be very tempted to fire straight away, even though he can't see the target. I doubt that Type 4 will have moved very far from his original position. Okay, another enemy target's come to sight, and it's the object 704, the one we fired at earlier in the game. He's been tracked. Rounds out, pulls back to have a look and see.
We just barely missed. Get him next time.
Yep, it did land very close to him, just in front, and I think that was RNG more than anything. Oh, now there was a dual explosion up on the hill. It looks like the Samua died. And now this 703 too, well, he's decided to go all in. As you might say, balls deep on the 705, which is not good because he's now been stunned and the 705 finishes him off. No, it was the Borsig who got him in the end. Okay, Type 4 heavy. Go fire blind. Oh, he's decided not to. I'm sure that guy's not moving. And we can know where the enemy Arty is now. He's in the bushes at the back behind the road that passes over the railway line. Just saw the tracer emanating from those bushes. You can see how easy it is to locate the enemy Arty now from seeing the tracer. And that's bad news because it does actually mean you can wipe out enemy Arty fairly quickly. In fact, I do remember recently in a game I was in, I spotted the tracer emanating from a particular bush, and I knew the exact bush where he was firing from. I lobbed around into the bush blind and killed the enemy Arty with one shot, and then told the rest of the team they've got a Arty-free game for the rest of the game, and they actually won quite easily. You can see that one of the enemy Artys is over on the west side of the map, but the other one, and they're both M53, M55s, the other one is at the back of the railway line. Type 4's out. Yep, there's the tracer again. You can see he's in those bushes. No doubt about it. Might be worth putting a round in there. This is an encounter game, so it's all about the cap in the centre, but nobody has actually decided to go in and start capping yet because the score is fairly even. Nobody has possession of the hill. Nobody has possession of the midway point. There's two tanks facing off against each other. We've got the 705, they've got the Unit 16. We know there's an IS-3 and a 704 somewhere in that area, and we know there's one of the M53, M55s right at the back. And I could probably tell you which bush he's going to be in as well, because most of them tend to go to the same bush. The IS-3's come forward to the bowl. Rounds out. Direct hit. Yep, that one's definitely left a scratch on his paintwork. And he's taking more damage. And he's out the game. So a nice bit of assist there. they've lost the UDES. We can see the IS-6 at the back there. TanqAndTonic's going to put around his whip. Good shot, 215.
Must be our lucky day.
She hasn't said boom baby yet, but I'm hoping she will. Look at that round, it hit right on the front plate. No doubt about that one. Now put another one in there. Really ruin his day. And we know which bush he's in now, because we just saw the bush.
They got lucky.
I saw the bush that he's in. I know exactly where that enemy Arty is now. No doubt about it. You see the fallen tree. It's a little way back from there, slightly to the left of that position. The IS-6 has gone. Now, will TanqAndTonic go after the enemy Arty? Well, an Object 416 has taken his eye instead. That's out. That's probably going to miss, but it's dead already anyway. And instead, actually, he's going to be going for the SU-130PM. We lost our T-30 to that SU-130PM. He's right at the base of the hill. Okay, the M53, M55 has been spotted at the back. He's just been wiped out. The ISU-152K is making a run for it, but he won't get very far. Oh, excellent shot right onto the engine deck. And he's gone. And so now they're going after the remaining enemy over here. I think if you notice, yep, he's in those bushes. Put the round in. No, slightly to the right. Oh, he's actually moved forward. He's moved forward. He's changed position. He's moved forward. I just saw the tracer emanate from the bushes in front. And that one just hit the tank destroyer at the back. So he's firing one in there. And he just killed the 704. So he's got his first kill of the game. Very late in the game. There's only 3 enemies left now. There's one of them, the SU-130PM. He came back, but there's still an Arty. There he is. You can see now he's moved forward to the bush. Oh, he dies just before our shell gets there, leaving only one enemy remaining, a Scorpion. He's up on the hill. Let's put a round in. He's about to get mobbed. We're still loading. And he dies before we can shoot. So 3 wins in a row. Here's the end of battle results, and yet another ace tanker from TanqAndTonic in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. He got a bruiser medal in this one as well for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 12. And he got another Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And so long as you keep busy, keep pumping those shells out, yes, you will end up with the Confederate medal. Because the more enemies you hit, the more damage you do to them, the more stun you put out, the bigger the chance you give to your teammates to actually win a game. So Confederates are so important to winning games. We look at the team score, we can see that he actually did get the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage in the game. That went to the Object 704, 3,039 hit points of damage to him. TanqAndTonic came second with 2,683, and the M53, M55, who's also very, very busy, he got 2,578 from that game. When it came to kills, it was a Bat Châtillon Brask who did the best with 4 kills in the game. 3 kills went to the Borsig and to the IS-3, and we can see that TanqAndTonic only got the 1 kill out of that game, unfortunately. But when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the Brask managed to get 1,441, TanqAndTonic got 1,225, and the Leopard prototype got 828. He fired 19 rounds in that game. He managed to get 12 direct hits, no penetrations, but 18 splash. Damage of 2,683 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, did 236 hit points of damage assistance, and 3,782 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns. And that, I think those two in combination with the damage, yes, that's what gave him an ace tanker very easily indeed. The kill, by the way, that was a blind kill, as you saw during the game. Yes, he laid that shell down, took out the enemy 704, who's, I think it was the 704 who'd been hiding there. Yes, it was. He retreated from the west side of the map, went to the railway line instead, and got killed there. He earned 38,122 credits from the game, and after ammunition respawn, this ammo is relatively cheap, 35,903 credit profit on a premium account. 1,225 XP times 2 for the first victory, 3,676 from mission payout, and took away 7,352 experience points altogether. So 3 really good games from TanqAndTonic in the Bat Chat 155-55, the FV207, and of course the M12. I hope you enjoyed all those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm.
And then hanging out at home watching TV.
And of course, do remember that we have a sister channel called The General, which features replays without any commentary whatsoever, but they are some of the best replays you're likely to see, because these guys tend to pick up huge numbers of medals in the process, and it's in all types of tank, not just tier 10s and tier 9s. There are tier 4, tier 5 and tier 6 tanks in there as well, and it just features the best plays, best games that you've seen in a long while. So I hope you enjoyed that replays, or those replays, and thank you for watching.